Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 VN237. Today we're here for FTR Round 6, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As you can see there, across the line to do our second lap, we came across the line, did a 1:34.747. Nowhere near the best pace I can do. I'm thinking I can maybe get into the 1:34.5s. Well, I could, except a slight issue occurred. As you will see here, we've skipped right to the end of the session. And I'm busy going through the cameras. I'm thinking I'll go at about 2 minutes left to go in the session, and then I hear my teammate come over the radio saying, "I'm coming into the pits." And many profanities were going through my head at this point. As you can see, I click go, but for some unbeknownst reason, obviously my teammate's there, so nothing can be done. But my team isn't taking the tyre blankets off. They aren't taking the monitors off. I could have left the pits now, but now they start doing it, and I could have been out by now onto the track, or at least next to the pit lane. But unfortunately, the time wasted here, the 20 seconds that we've lost, not only from a teammate coming in, but also my team waiting around, means we aren't going to get out. We only needed maybe another 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, and we would have got to do another lap. But it's not too bad. We came fourth so far. Evo Freezy did pick up a 5 place grid penalty for a collision with Ron Season, I believe. However, the main issue with this qualifying is I have done 3 laps on those tyres. I think 3 flying laps, or at least 3 or 4 flying laps on those tyres, and they're softs, and a 1-stop is possible here, as Evo is going to show us. I mean, I was going to go with the 2-stop anyway, but that blunder in qualifying is going to hamper us severely in this race. Our tyres are already 10 to 15% worn, I believe. But anyway, we're getting into the race now. We're going to be starting P3 thanks to Evo's grid penalty, which I don't think was deserved, but we didn't have time to look into it. We're taking off 2 laps of fuel. Now this in hindsight was a mistake. I did have to do quite a lot of fuel saving, but oh well. That's a wonderful thing, but it's completely bloody useless. Anyway, we start off for our formation lap. We're doing soft medium strategy. As you can see, their tyres are already between 10 and 12%, which is not good, but oh well. We're now at the grid there. I clipped an incident with Argent Racing being too far behind. But anyway, we're getting ready to start this Grand Prix. We're waiting for Dodger to connect with his lovely Australian internet. And we've got 4 or 5 red lights on now. And we're underway for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Round 6 of FTR. We get off the line pretty well. Wax was on pole with OSIM in second. A newcomer, so too is Argent Racing. And Wax got away really well. We've managed to stick with OSIM. OSIM's on the mediums, so he looks to be doing a 1-stop this race, and we should have the advantage for at least the first 2 to 3 laps on these tyres. Going through the hairpin now, all pretty clean so far at the front of the field. Going into overtake, going to Rich, see if we can stick in the slipstream, but OSIM is in the slipstream of Wax. So it's just going to turn into a big train. See if we can get close under brake, maybe set up a move down the second back straight. So we're going slow and fast out. Short shift up into third, get a nice exit. But those 2 ahead get an even better exit. I believe they run assists from the time trials that they submitted. See OSIM looking for a move around the outside, but on the mediums nothing does of it. And Wax covers him off really well to maintain the lead. Dewey Jones is right behind us in 4th with Arjun, having dropped a place to him, down in 5th. See, going through the triple right-hander, down into the 3rd sector, the hotel section. All pretty tight and twisty, no real avenue for going up the inside unless one of them makes a mistake. I mean, maybe a potential good run onto the start-finish straight may present an opportunity down to turn 1. Go through the final corner. I was struggling with that corner in practice and all through the race and qualifying. Actually, it's a very, very awkward corner to do. So you're going through turn 1. We're sticking with it. We're not leaving anything on the table here. We're making sure we stay close, especially when the DRS comes online. So you're going into turns 3 and 4, I believe, or 4 and 5. Going to the hairpin, we actually have a yellow flag behind us. That's one of the racing points, might be F1 high rise, I believe, has spun coming to the exit of turn 3. And as you can see now, poor exit onto the main straight leaves us quite vulnerable to Argent Racing. And these tyres are already feeling atrocious already on lap 2. They haven't done maybe 6 laps already on these tyres. But as you can see, I managed to hold position with use of overtake and coming on to the second DRS zone, even though DRS isn't enabled. Argent's right behind us. He doesn't look for a move though. We managed to hold the speed over him with the 2 cars in front giving a slipstream. And as we go into the triple chicane, we're still holding firm. See if we can defend as he gets a fantastic run around the outside and then up the inside into the triple right-hander. We decide not to fire that too much and to let him go. He's clearly a faster driver at this point on the better condition of tyre. As we go on to lap 3, we actually lose one of the newcomers, Di Moro, in the Ferrari. That brings out a virtual safety car. And Wax actually lost the lead to OSIM and then lost second to Argent Racing, and now has a massive snap of oversteer at the exit of the hairpin. Evo Freezy's got up into 5th place after his penalty. And now we're going down the main straight. That gives us easy pickings. We've got DRS and overtakes, so Wax isn't going to be coming back at us all too much on this straight. As we go in heavy braking zone, we close it quite a lot to OSIM, and Wax actually decides to go down the inside. It's a pretty bold and pretty reckless move in my eyes. And then we're going on to the second DRS, so we actually get DRS from the 2 Red Bulls in front battling. And then Evo gets up the inside of Wax and looks to go the inside of myself as well, but we leave him room and we manage to cover it off, having the inside for the next part of the triple chicane. And as you can see, we come to lap 5 and with me and Evo have dropped Wax, and now Evo's going to be flying past us. I don't intend to fight this too much. My plan was to try and get him back on the next straight. Use the DRS at the end of this chicane and then get him back, but unfortunately we don't get the best of exits compared to Evo, and Evo's just bolted. So unfortunately we lost 3rd place there. Virtual safety car comes out again, and this is Codemasters at its finest. I brake to fix my delta. Wax goes up the inside of me, but I get the illegal overtake on Wax. So I have to give him the position back, and then I cut the corner to make sure he has enough room, and that gets me a warning. So that lost me about 10 seconds there, which was very frustrating, but oh well, it happens. But fortunately, the next lap, Wax loses connection, so that promotes us up into P4 pretty easily. We just goes through his car there. And pretty simple overtake. So we haven't really lost anything apart from a whole heap of time to the top 3. But I wasn't too fussed. I didn't really feel confident. We come into the pits at the end of lap 7, going to lap 8, to go on to 7 mediums. Actually, we changed the strategy up a bit to run the soft tyres at the end of the race, maybe go for the fastest lap. But we'll have to see if we can achieve that. As we're on lap 10 now, Argent Racing's actually spun at the hairpin. No, just missed his span, and he lost one of his tyres, and that's him out of the Grand Prix. So that promotes up into effective P3. We're now currently 5th. We set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1:38.4 on those mediums, and now we're just grinding away trying to catch Jimmy Jones on those medium tyres. Evo Freezy actually pit stop, puts us up into 4th place. He is actually doing the 1 stop. He's going to the end on those medium tyres, and he's going to be a massive threat to OSIM, who is still leading this race. He's currently going through the chicane that splits up the 2 main straights. You see there we're getting very close to Jimmy Jones on our fresh, or relatively fresh mediums. We get a decent exit, took it quickly into slipstream to get us a little bit of boost to protect us from Evo, and we get up the inside. Go around, just go straight past him really on the outside of the straight, and then Evo also gets past him. Heading into the corner now. See if we can get a nice punchy exit, which we do achieve, but now we won't have DRS, so we've got to try and defend from Evo. We've just overtaken Rich. We've actually saved quite a bit of fuel. We've had a lot of virtual safety cars out. I haven't shown all of them because there was far too many. As you can see, going through the triple chicane, We're getting very close to Websy there on those hard tyres. I don't know if he's been running those the entire race or whether he's going hards to mediums or maybe hards to softs at the end. But as you see, we're right tucked up behind him. Websy's been the bottleneck here for me in Evo. Osim's currently in the pits, so it'll be interesting to see where he rejoins in representation to Evo. I believe Osim will rejoin just a bit further ahead of Evo, but Osim's gone to the hard tyres. Now he will have tyre life at the end of the race compared to Evo, but Evo's going to have the initial advantage, so see if he can make the undercut work here. And I actually make a mistake here. I leave it in lanes to try and save fuel, and Evo gets to the inside of me. Very opportunistic there, which honestly, in retrospect, is quite fine by me. I don't mind being behind Evo. He can tow me along in this race. But that was my plan. My teammate sets the fastest lap on a fresh set of softs of 38.0. Actually make a dive down the inside of Evo. We missed our braking point, and our right front tyre actually tapped his left rear tyre. It's a bit of a dangerous move, and if any damage had been incurred for me, I'd have probably got some penalty points and maybe a penalty myself, but luckily nothing came of it. I just lost some more time. Jimmy Jones is coming at us on lap 13 now. I think we both have DRS, we're both not using overtakes, so it's just a drag race. And we go in. There's a bit of argy-bargy. I don't know why Jimmy Jones was really fighting that position, considering he's going to be coming to the pit soon, but I'd be pretty miffed at the time. And then Websy spins out at the exit of the corner after the triple chicane, which is unlucky for him, but he still manages to keep going. But now closing up to Jimmy Jones. We're going to have a look to the outside. We're going to fake to the outside. They're actually going to go with the inside here. We brake early. We try and get the good exit, but we put a bit too much pressure on the loud pedal, and that spins out. So we have to wait until lap 15 now. And we get a lovely exit, go wide and straighten up the car on the exit, slowing fast out, and we're just going to breeze past Jimmy Jones now. Turn overtake off to save some for the next range in case he decides to come back to us, and that promotes us up into P3. But we still have to make another stop here. So it's going to be a question of whether I can chase down Jimmy Jones at the end of this race. I'm not sure whether he has to make another stop or not, as our teammate gets past Websy on the straight. The AlphaTauri is overtaking in the same place on the same lap. And here we pit on lap 20. Jimmy Jones actually pitted the lap before me, I think, but he went to another set of mediums. I went on to a set of softs, and we pulled away from that. And as you see, we've got 30 seconds to Osim. We've got 4.5 back to Jimmy Jones, but we're going to take on a hot lap now. This is the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's my fastest lap too, obviously. That makes sense in my head, I know, imagine. So go through turn 1 and 2, loads of grip on these tyres. Turn 3, brake in late into turn 4, run over the curbs, rotate the car nice in second gear, then short shift up into third, using lean to keep the rear tyres in check and get decent exit. And then lean out the hairpin, and then we put Rich in overtake, flying down the main straight. Our teammate actually set the fastest lap on the previous lap on his set of soft tyres, so we're going to see if we can beat that this lap. We went purple to the first section, we're heading down into the chicane, braking at the 100 metre board, flicking into second gear, keep to the left so we can straighten out the exit, go into third, and punch it onto the main straight for a decent exit. There's a little dip in the road, which is always really satisfying to go over. That's when you sort of know to floor the loud pedal really, as we go into the triple chicane second gear, then short shift into third. Don't run right on the exit, your car will get caught up on the curbs. Into fourth, then down to third, and then back up to fourth, and accelerate through the gears as we go through the triple right hander down to the really tricky braking zone. Always pinch the front inside right tyre there, but we don't this time, and then it's all third gear through this section as we short shift up into fourth and back down to third for this corner to get the extra rotation. We've run out of overtake, we've run out of ERS this lap, which is a bit annoying. Let's go fourth gear through the final two corners, go into third for the last one, and then short shift quickly back up into fourth gear. And across the line we do a 36.459, and that lap is going to stay till the end of the race as the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Lap 22, Ron Season gets disqualified at the hairpin for, I'm assuming, too many penalties. And that was the race, really. I mean, we closed in Osim by about 13 seconds over the soft tyre stint, but there was far too much of a gap to him. Evo Freezy has an absolute dominant race, and he was given driver of the day. We come across to have another very consistent and decent race in P3, pick up fastest lap as well, and I believe, as you can see, I may cut to our teammate here. He's battling with Jimmy Jones. He's only 3 tenths behind, so maybe we'll get him coming out of the final corner. You see Jimmy Jones there. A teammate is unable to get him as they go up to the line, but on penalties, I believe he does take P4. So AlphaTauri with 3rd and 4th. That's going to further cement our dominance in the Constructors' title. It's absolutely incredible what Rum managed to achieve for AlphaTauri. You see Jimmy Jones in 5th, then Websy, Wax, Bastinator, and then I believe Origins, Penk, and FTR, AVFC are going to round out the point scoring positions in 9th and 10th with Dodger, Gobi1, and some random guy. I don't know whether he's in the league or he's just changed his name, rounding out the rest of the positions. So yeah, pretty decent race. Again, another short cycle on Evo Freezy. That was a dominant performance by him, coming back from that penalty to do a one-stop soft to mediums. Fully deserving of the race win, and fully deserving of taking out the championship lead on 88 points. Myself in 2nd on 85, and then Chris and Resonant. Resonant actually missed that race, so he didn't score any points, so that might leapfrogs Chris up into 3rd. And as we move on to the Constructors' title, AlphaTauri are further dominating it, as you can see there, 149 points. Renault closing us in, thanks to Evo being really consistent at the front. But yeah, good race. Once again, if you like this video, please do like and subscribe. My Discord will be in the description. If you want to join FTR, give you a message, and I'll catch you all for round 7 of the Mexican Grand Prix very soon.